Now, in the studio is the leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice, and GB News political correspondent Olivia Utley. Welcome to the show. Richard, it's been a tumultuous week for your party. Yesterday, the only topic in town...
It's been a great week.
Well, this week, the only topic in town yesterday was Nigel Farage being outmanoeuvred. He admitted it.
Nonsense.
He admitted himself
Absolute nonsense. Actually, what he's confirmed is he's getting stuck in. Thrilled that he's able to campaign with us for the first time for the next 6 weeks. And I can tell you that it is going to be a busy period and he is going to get fully all engaged, and we are going to be a serious part of ensuring this is an immigration election. And yesterday's figures, the mass migration figures, complete betrayal by the Tory party. I mean, catastrophic. It's one of the reasons, actually, why the Prime Minister bottled it, because he was petrified of the growth of Reform UK in the polls, petrified by the fact that he was sinking in the polls. The fact that he chose the Titanic to have an event in confirms, sadly, that he is sinking. And look, we're making progress. And the polls out today, since the announcement of the election, show that actually there's no post-election announcement Tory bounce. Exactly the opposite.
Richard,
the gap with us is closing.
Richard, never mind stopping the boats. Has Nigel leaving your ship stopped the vote?
He hasn't left our ship. He's joined our ship.
But the fact of the matter is, he said he would stand, and every pollster that we've had in the studio, every pollster worth their metal said a Reform Party with Nigel Farage, fully standing, fully engaged, will give you a 6-point boost. That hasn't happened. A lot of people yesterday were sending their messages into GB News saying they felt betrayed by Nigel for not doing this. Do you feel betrayed by Nigel? Of
course not. I'm thrilled to bits that for the first time he's able to join the party fully and engage for the next 6 weeks. And that's absolutely great. And so, yeah, look, we're full on. And I think the reality is our press conference yesterday highlighting the complete betrayal, the mass immigration numbers. You've got a city the size of Birmingham arrived in 2023. They revised upwards the numbers from 2022. And we're going to make sure the British people understand that actually that mass immigration has huge extra pressure on housing rents that have increased by 20%, on wages being depressed, and also the pressure on our NHS. The whole healthcare system is being damaged by this mass immigration that no one planned for and no one voted for.
Well, the thing I don't really understand is Nigel Farage has said that he's not going to stand because he doesn't have time to find a winnable seat. He doesn't think he can win a seat. If Nigel Farage, the name that everyone knows, the name behind Reform, doesn't think he can win a seat, then what chance does any other Reform candidate have?
Oh, we're going to win seats, absolutely no question at all. And actually, what experience shows is sometimes it's more challenging if you're trying to both win a seat and run a national campaign than actually just focusing on one or the other. So, Nigel's got experience of that. And so, the conclusion was the right thing is campaign nationally, help us win some seats. And I'm very confident we're going to do that. In fact, I've already started to win bets. I said it would be a summer election, and sure enough, it's a summer election. Why? Because they're petrified of us. They know that Rwanda's not a deterrent, and Nigel's going to be a huge asset. And you're going to see that over the course of the next week.
But hasn't this early move, I mean, in that very seat, in this very studio last night, Nigel Farage said Rishi Sunak had outmanoeuvred him. By snapping the election early, it means there's not enough time to build the base, to fundraise, to get out there. And that's what the Brexit Party did so well before. You need that time to build your base, and that's been snatched away now by Sunak.
Well, it hasn't been snatched away at all. The reality is that there's always a bit of tease and a bit of banter, but the truth is we're making great progress. I'm thrilled to bits, and I think you're going to see over the next week we are going to make sure people recognise this is an immigration election. It has so much impact on everything. We're pushing on hard, and I'm thrilled. Onwards and upwards.
OK, so you like making bets. How many seats are you going to win? Let's make a bet.
I didn't say I'll bet on everything. I will bet we will get millions of votes. And the more people vote for us, the more seats we get.
OK, super. Let's now throw to Chris Hope on the battle bus. And you were listening into that interview there, Chris. I wonder if you have any response or a question, perhaps, for Richard Tice back here in Westminster.
Yes, thank you. And Richard, hello from the Tory battle bus here in West Midlands. A quick question to you. Were you outmanoeuvred by this early call of election? If you were so certain on it being a summer election, why didn't you get a seat ready for your star candidate, Nigel Farage? Instead, he was caught short and he pulled out rather embarrassingly.
No, look, I disagree. There was no commitment that Nigel was definitely going to stand. You look at all options in any business, any walk of life, you look at a range of options, and you decide what you want to do. And that's, you make judgments and you want to say what's the most effective way of achieving the objective. And this is not a one-election game. This is, we will get millions of votes at this election, and then this is a medium-term plan and journey towards the 28-29 election when we will be the opposition. The Tories might be in opposition, but we will become the opposition.
I mean, you're quite a small party still, obviously, but already there seems to be some division in your ranks. Yesterday, Nigel Farage said that he was planning on launching his election campaign next week. Today, Ben Habib said on GB News, that's your deputy co-chair, that Nigel Farage didn't plan to run next week. Ben Habib knew absolutely nothing about this, and he called it Nigel's version of events. How do you explain that?
The whole point is, if you're looking at thinking of something and you haven't confirmed it, you keep it within a very, very tight circle of information.
So tight that it's not even his deputy lead.
You keep it in a very tight circle.
OK, we have to leave it there. Richard Tice, the leader of Reform UK. Thank you very much for joining us.